EastEnders fans are in for a treat in the coming weeks when they tune into the BBC soap ahead of the big Christmas twist. On Albert Square, concern grows for a missing resident, resulting in one soap villain being accused of causing harm to them. Stacey Slater could risk enraging her stalker Theo Hawthorne as she takes dramatic action, but it appears she may have the wrong end of the stick, writes the Mirror. Viewers will also recognize a familiar face who heads back to Walford for the first time in 7 years. However, it doesn't quite work out the way she would have liked, and the character is disgusted by something she finds out. A new feud will brew between two Walford residents just weeks before one of them could be killed off. Meanwhile, one character's deadly actions also look set to come to light. Let's take a look at some of the big moments we can expect on our screens next week. Theo twist spoilers from the BBC have detailed a shocking accusation aimed at villain Theo Hawthorne in upcoming scenes. Fans will discover his whereabouts in upcoming episodes according to new spoilers, days on from his recent plea hearing. There was shock amongst fans and Walford residents when Theo pled guilty to recent charges, after he stalked and attempted to rape Stacey Slater. Theo has been obsessing over Stacey Slater for months, and it all culminated in a horrifying showdown weeks ago. In a bid to get rid of Theo for good, Stacey set him up by convincing him that if he pleaded guilty and served his time, they could be together. It's unknown if Theo will serve time behind bars, but fans are worried that once he's out he will come back for revenge once he realizes Stacey set him up. That moment could come in the coming weeks though, or in the scenes that follow, as a new accusation about a missing character leads to Stacey taking strong action. Concern also grows for Eve Unwin, who remains missing after her violent showdown with Nish Panesar. After Ravi Gulati secretly let Eve flee, not telling Nish the truth, Eve has not been seen since. Stacey becomes worried about her best friend, and a message from Theo leads to her fearing the worst. She panics that Theo may have hurt Eve after their run-in earlier this year, and may be trying to get back at her. Stacey gets a Christmas card from Theo which makes her worried that it's a sign that he is behind Eve's disappearance. Theo is accused of hurting or killing Eve, but news from Jack Branning may rule this out, while viewers know the truth. Stacey heads to the police station to report her suspicions after a chat with Eve's lover Suki Panesar, but the pair are deflated when the police say there's nothing they can do. Stacey calls Theo and leaves a message threatening him if he's hurt Eve, fearing he's behind it. So will her anger lead to him returning? Jack soon drops the news of Theo's whereabouts and confirms Theo is far away in Scotland. Past character returns. Show bosses announced that a past character who was last in Walford in 2016 will return to the square. His return leads to explosive scenes as the arrival doesn't go to plan, as the unwell character makes an alarming discovery. Dean Wicks and Shabnam Masood's daughter Jade makes her big return, amid Dean's own explosive comeback recently. Towards the end of October, Linda Carter was horrified as her rapist Dean returned to Albert Square and began taunting her again, denying that he raped her in 2014. Dean has refused to leave and is now seemingly planning on stitching up Linda, tricking her into a false confession that he did not rape her, with him secretly recording it. But ahead of Dean taking disgusting action, has surprised when his daughter Jade arrives. He has said that he was back because his daughter was really sick with cystic fibrosis, and was in hospital after treatment. He said he needed to be nearby and was desperate to help his daughter, while it's thought Shabnam wasn't letting him see her. Jade turns up at the Vic and it becomes apparent that she isn't aware of what her father has done, while it's clear they are not on good terms. Dean soon arrives and Jade heads to Shabnam's son Zair's grave, after her brother's devastating death when he was stillborn in 2015. Jade is left thinking about her own prognosis, and gets upset, leading to her father trying to comfort her. But Jade rejects him and storms off, but later, after a conversation with Gina, she gives him another chance. However, it is short-lived as Jade finds out what happened to Linda. Jade is disgusted and leaves Walford, leaving Dean gutted. Dean soon heads to the Vic in a fury over his daughter's abrupt exit, but what will he do, and will Jade be back? New feud. Two Walford residents will spark a new feud just weeks away from a shock death on the BBC soap. Keanu Taylor and Dean Wicks are about to lock horns, amid drama for both characters who have been up to no good. The Taylors are the talk of the square after Phil Mitchell outs Karen and Keanu as being involved in the recent kidnapping of Albie, which was actually faked by Karen and Keanu for the money. Dean can't help but make digs at the family, causing a fight between him and Keanu. They have a run-in in the Queen Vic, the very venue where in a few weeks' time one male character, possibly one of them, will be killed off in a major Christmas Day twist. Things only escalate when Dean's daughter Jade arrives, and after a row with Linda, Keanu tells Jade that her dad is a sexual predator. After Jade flees, Dean is furious and could possibly seek revenge. Rocky exposed next week. Rocky Cotton's part in the cafe fire horror will be exposed. Spoilers for upcoming scenes on the BBC soap confirm that Rocky is struggling and feels under pressure by Nish to sell the cafe to him. Whilst we as viewers know that Rocky started a fire in the cafe to try and claim money off the insurance, leaving Bobby and Peter at risk of death, but Kathy is still unaware of what part he has played in the fire. As he struggles, Rocky decides to confide in his friend Harvey, who is adamant he should tell Kathy about what he did. Just when he feels like Terry's no other choice, Kathy's sons encourage her to think about Nish's deal. Kathy decides she has no choice but to sell the cafe to Nish, but he implies Rocky was responsible for the fire. Fuming and devastated by the betrayal, Kathy heads to speak to Harvey to find out the truth, and he all but confirms her suspicions. She heads to speak to Rocky, adamant she needs to confront him over what's been said, but what will he say? EastEnders airs Mondays to Thursdays at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One and BBC iPlayer.